we have dogs and cats, and I just see them on the floor rolling around. They're playing, but if you didn't know any better, it looks like they're fighting, but they're not. They're playing. They're like soft mouth, but they're like kind of biting each other and cuffing each other and rolling around on the floor and making noise. And that's how I grew up. And I'm very much still that way. I like to be, for better or worse, very physical around people. And I'm constantly, now that I'm no spring chicken, but for years, I would immediately want to do any bit that involves me jumping through something, like a fake glass or taking a fall or making a leap. I just love that stuff. Yeah. And now I'm 62 years old and I still like doing that stuff. And so I'll come up with an idea where I do that. And the people, the professionals will say, well, no, we're going to have to get a stunt guy. And I lose it. I say, no, the only reason I want to do this is I want to jump through the window. I want to get tackled. I want, that's the stuff.
I want to go through this table.
Yeah, I want to go through this table and, I'll figure out the rest later, meaning if something breaks, we'll figure it out.
Nice.
But that is very much the kind of thing I've always liked a lot. And so I don't seem to be adjusting for age. And that's probably going to go very badly at some point. But
no, not if you just keep living young. You're good.
Okay, so the doctors are wrong.
We'll get you some Toradol. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
It's all precautionary.
Jason, what is it called?
Toradol. It was a big, they used to inject it and then there was a lawsuit.
Well, you can still get the injection.
So you're saying that I qualify for an injection of a drug that...
You're going to go back to your 40s.
We would be honored to host you to Bill's Mafia, Buffalo, New York. We're going to inject you with some Toradol. And we're going to send you through a flaming table. I think you'd be very excited for this.
Guys, I'm not kidding. I will promise you this right now on the air. I'll meet you anywhere, anytime. I want a professional doctor to inject me with Toradol, and then I will jump through something. Good. I promise you. This is not a bit. I'm here on record. I think that would be so much fun.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then my wife will take all of us to court, me included. That would be so much fun to do that, though. I mean, I'm giddy just thinking about it. This is going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to shoot it. It's going to be video. Excited. It's going to go viral. And then you guys can come visit me in the hospital.
I'm just going to say the Chiefs do play in Buffalo next year.
We know we're on borrowed time here. We're going to do our last segment. We got to ask. All right.
Are you kidding? I will spend the week with you. I would rather do this than any of the Oscar prep. Seriously.
Do not send me back into the room with them.
This is the most fun I've had in a while, and I'm not.
Let's go.
Just joyous. So I'm very happy.
All right. Of all the guests you've had on Late Night or the pod, who is your favorite?
There are different kinds of guests that are great in different ways. But I think a guy who was a true artist was Norm Macdonald.
There it is. We had a little $50 bet going on ourselves if it was going to be Norm or not.
Absolute legend, man.
And if I mention Norm, I've got to say there's also, Will Ferrell, when he would come on completely in character. And as a leprechaun in a thong. So it's not that there's one winner, but the reason I mentioned Norm is that nobody did what he did and no one ever can again. I do think he was uniquely able. He would come out and just tell these stories that were total bullshit. And you knew from the get-go it was total bullshit. And he'd be like, I'd say, Norm, how's it going? It's pretty good, Conan. I got a farm. And I'd be thinking, he doesn't have a fucking farm. But I'd go, because you're the interviewer, I'd be like, oh, you have a farm? Yeah. I got a farm and I got 3 daughters, Conan. And I'd be thinking, what? But I go like 3 daughters. Yeah. Each one prettier than the next. And one day a traveling salesman. A traveling salesman. And you'd think, oh, he's just telling a joke from 1942. and he's pretending this really happened to him. And it's performance art. I'm telling you, when I walk around in the world, people like come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh my God, Norm Macdonald, this time he was on, that time he was on, this other time he was on." And I just think that I think people are going to be talking about that guy 50 years from now. You know,
Easy.
I think
100%.
and the way he told jokes, and he was completely fearless.
That's the thing. He was always so smooth, man. Did you ever have an underrated guess? Like a sneaky guess that was kind of your fave that nobody would
I mean, there's so many different guests that would come on and defy the label, you know, and there are people that can come on where, you know, they're known for being, you know, incredibly good looking, or you think, oh, this person's going to be this type. I shot something once with Tom Cruise in London where we're driving around together. He was so great comedically and naturally funny. And I have to admit, I had put him in a little bit of a box of, well, he's an action star guy. So he probably doesn't, you know, he won't be like the funniest person. And he was really great. And he played it perfectly. And he had really good ideas. And I thought, well, that's on me. I put him in a box. I thought, you know, he's great at hanging onto the wing of a plane and delivering like a great action line, but there's no way he can. I'm not expecting him to be funny in this way, and he was
100%
that and more. And I'm sure you guys have experienced this doing the podcast, which is you'll talk to someone and you think, well, this, you know, okay, they're going to be really fascinating, but they're not going to be X, Y, or Z, and then they are 1,000 times over. So we all form biases. We all form like, okay, I'm going to talk to these, you know, these guys, and this is what we're going to talk about. And no, you're completely wrong. There's people will surprise you every time.
I share that same story, ironically, in London with Tom Cruise. He was one of the funniest, down to earth guys, and it's just you don't think to put him in. Really, you don't ever want to put anybody in a bubble, but it's just like you don't think of it as that, and he really did. He really was just the best guy. Do you have like a favorite joke of all time?
Oh, man, no, there's too many. There've been too many. I don't think there could be one joke that I would say is my, you know, I have bits I've done that I really love. I once, you know, we found out that there was a league that played baseball, and they played with 1875 rules, like literally the same.
This is one of my favorite bits I've ever seen.
They dressed like it was 1875, and they called the ball the apple, which is something that they really did in 1875. They'd like, you know, pitch the apple, and they talked in that. So I showed up and I got into this insane costume and a fake like handlebar mustache. And I just became one of those guys. I literally became one of those guys, and I was such an asshole. And I was taunting the pitcher and saying, hurl the apple, and making like weird jokes that would have been from the 1870s. And the guy got irritated. So he whipped one really close to my head, and I ducked, and then I dropped the bat, and I come after him, and I start putting my fist up.
It's the only way somebody fights with a handlebar mustache.
When I do fight both of you in a parking lot, which will happen because I'll be whacked out on Toradol. But
that's right. I was about to say
it will be this style, and I'll get a few pops in before you rip my torso into two pieces and candy comes out.
It's got good reach on you.
I love those moments. There are moments where I don't even know I'm doing comedy. And you guys talk about it too. It's when you said it's the blackout moments. Those are the moments that are the ultimate high for me, is when you're doing your thing and it feels easy and you're not even thinking about it. And then it's over and people say, oh, that was great. And you go, I don't even know what happened. That's what I live for.
This isn't in the rundown, but I do want to ask you this because I'm always fascinated with people that are writers and also just naturally inherently funny, and you can just go like you're talking about, like blackout. They just kind of are riffing. In football, it's very easy. Like, hey, like if you practice running routes versus specific coverage, like, yeah, you know where the open space is, you know structurally what is. Is there like a structure that you hone or practice in the world of comedy that makes you able to riff and kind of just be like that all the time?
I don't think I've ever seen them written out, but there are certain structures that get passed on from time to time, and you mostly learn it through you grow up and you look at what's making me laugh. Like, I took from everything. I mean, I learned from, you know, really funny movies like the Clouseau movies with Peter Sellers, but also, Warner Brothers cartoons, and also, TV shows I really loved. And you'd pick up on different funny people you'd see on Johnny Carson, and you'd notice a certain rhythm, and it just kind of gets into your bones. And so it's not so much like there's a textbook anywhere. I'd be very suspicious of any book that said, make sure the joke always hits on the three. Make sure that, like I would be suspicious of that. But I do think you pick up on things, and then just through trial and error. And I mean, not even in front of people, but so much trial and error happens in comedy anyway, happens first when you're a kid around your parents and your brothers and sisters, then in school, then it happens just out in life. You're constantly seeing and adjusting and learning on some level, but there's no book. No one can write it out in chalk on a board.
It started small. A comment here, a look there, a moment on new heights that lasted barely 10 seconds but somehow broke the internet. Travis Kelce, the tight end who built an entire podcast empire on brutal honesty and zero filter, said something recently that fans are convinced was a window into his future. And once people started clipping it, screenshotting it, and stitching it across TikTok, there was no putting it back. The moment came during a casual tangent, the kind Kelce is known for. He wasn't asked directly about kids. He wasn't sitting across from Taylor. But the way he lit up, the way his voice changed, the way he leaned into the topic instead of deflecting it like he usually does when things get personal, that was enough. Fans who have watched every New Heights episode since day one know the difference between Kelce being polite and Kelce being genuinely excited. This, they say, was the second one. Kylie Kelce's fingerprints are all over this theory too. She has been dropping hints of her own for weeks, talking openly about pregnancy, motherhood, and what it's like watching her brother-in-law fall into a role he clearly wasn't expecting to love this much. Kylie knows Taylor. Kylie knows Travis. And when Kylie starts talking in a certain tone about family expansion, the fandom listens. Then there's the house. Taylor's reported move into Travis's Kansas City home post-wedding wasn't just a headline about real estate. To fans building the timeline, it was a signal. You don't merge lives like that unless you're already imagining what comes next. The nursery, the holidays, the next chapter. Neither of them has said out loud yet, but everyone can feel coming. Nobody close to the couple has confirmed a pregnancy. Nobody has confirmed a due date, a name, a plan. But that hasn't stopped the internet from doing what it does best. Reading between every line Travis Kelce has left open. Because here's the thing about Travis Kelce. He doesn't hide his emotions well, and he's never pretended to. When he's excited, the whole world knows it. And right now, fans swear they've seen exactly that look, the one you can't fake, the one that says the next era of Taylor and Travis is already being written. Whether it's a baby announcement next month or nothing at all, one thing is certain. Nobody is looking away.